Hello again, welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So today I'm just gonna make a video about undermining. It's about undermining, the reason why people actually undermine you. There are actually a blend of reason why people undermine other people. For example, most of the time is the fact that they're intimidated by you. So whenever you encounter a situation whereby people are actually intimidated by you, what do they do? Because they are afraid of the fact that when you finally know your worth, when you finally know who you are, obviously you won't need them. Because most of the time, the same people who try to make you feel like shit when they're actually intimidated by you, what do? They want you to make you feel like crazy, make you feel like there's something wrong with you, so that they will be able to get you with a lower price. Because when you waste your time trying to prove that you're actually a good person, trying to prove that you are actually worth of being loved, worth of being recognized, worth of being whatsoever, they don't want you to know your worth. They try by all means, whatever strategy that comes in mind, they're gonna make them so that you won't leave. So that you won't leave, because they know once you know once you know who you are, obviously you leave. You won't even consider being around them anymore. So they are protecting their heart before anything happen, because by doing that, they are intimidated. The more you are in your own energy, your power, in your own power, that's why they disappear. That's why they act like, because most of the time people also always search people who are in their low vibrational state. So whenever you are in your low vibrational state, what do? You constantly self-sabotage yourself. So they searching someone who's actually in that energy, who constantly self-sabotage themselves in order for them to find a weakness in you. So they constantly want weakness, even though you have a positive things about yourself. Yes, so Valsisa. Sorry about that. So that's why you and experience underminement around certain people. And as I said, there are actually plenty of reason why people undermine you. So I'm just gonna first start with that one, and the other one is whereby sometimes there's this saying that say God hide you in plain sight, which is true most of the time. Whenever you are in a wrong place, whether environment, whatever place that you are actually at, sometimes God, ancestors, they protect you from being seen by the wrong people. Because once they know who you are, once they know what you have, obviously they will try to put you out on path. Sometimes they end up killing you, sometimes they end up doing a lot. That blend of people who have been killed for no reason, just because they have a gift, uh, uh, they have a beautiful heart. You find people who got to be in a situation that were not abusing by, just because people couldn't accept the fact that this someone is actually like that, so they're trying to make sure that person is out of the line. So they try, most of the time they try to intimidate you in whatever. So sometimes you are being protected from whatever people that you're actually around, and it's not your time. So and the reason why it's not your time, I like to believe we all have timing. We are given our own time. You know when it's your time, you know when it's not your time yet. So we'll experience a lot of underminement, because most of the time people can see your value, they can't see what you bring. Even if they know what you bring in the table, it's just that they are praying the fact you're praying the fact that you don't see it. Because what happened is, most of the people who undermine in a job, it's not because you are undermining a job, because you are not capable, especially if you're doing what is needed. So what do? They try by all means to make sure that they don't act like they don't notice you, they don't see you, which is not true. They do see you. It's just that they want you to do all the work for bare minimum. It's just that they like the fact that you don't put value, you don't have a self-esteem, high self-esteem for yourself. So that's why you find yourself in a situation where you find, I'm being undermined, I'm not. You find people who just do bare minimum in the workplace and being promoted before you do. You find people who, you be like, I did more than that. Sometimes even in class, you be like, we are in the same, like, probably in same marks or anything like that, but you notice teachers always prefer the other one. It's because most of the time I like to believe that when you are someone who vibrates high, you are in the wrong place. And that wrong place, it can be any place, it can be work environment, it can be any way. So sometimes you're being protected for being undermined. Sometimes the underminement is a protection. Being undermined, it's a protection. It's how there's also this is how also your ancestors, God, choose to actually um protect you by allowing people to sabotage the relationship that you actually have with them, because they are not good people. You don't know what they say behind your back. You don't know who they are, what their intention they are. You don't know how evil plans they have for you. So whenever you find yourself, there was even a time there, I for example, I went out on a date with this guy, and I couldn't understand, like, of course he was undermining me, but I couldn't understand why I acted that way, because I that was not who I am. I didn't understand why I didn't show up as who I am. I end up showing up in the way that I'm not who I am. And I was beating myself about it, having conservation, trying to recreate a conservation of, like, I should have come up this way. This is who I am. Why did I have to hide myself? It was not because I was scared of rejection. It was not because of any. It was meant to happen the way it happened. And I was like, after like a few days, I was like, okay, it was meant to happen that way. And I knew that that guy was not good for me. So I acted out of the way that I'm not so used to the point that whenever you are, like, for example, we're having a breakup with someone because they were undermining you, they're doing all of that, you end up asking yourself, why did I try so hard to prove myself that I'm actually worth of being loved by this person? Why did I have to act the way that person was actually training me? Because sometimes they train you to actually um actually be the kind of a person who believe that they need to work like, in terms of, like, they need to put so much effort to the point that the other party is not doing anything, because the relationship is about give and take. Both partners, they have to contribute in it. So you end up finding yourself doing so much for someone who withdrawn, because you believe that the more I give, probably he will love me back. The more I do, he will recognize that I'm worth of that, So the fact that you have to do that, you end up asking yourself, why did I do that? It's because you are around people who actually undermine you. So the fact that they undermine you, your ego is so bruised to the point that you don't admit the fact that these people are not supposed to be in my life. You're trying to prove that you actually worth it instead of withdrawing as same as this. That's what we speak about, taking your own power back. Because you realize, took my power, I gave my power away instead of withdrawing my power. So that's what happened. You find yourself putting your so much, because you're giving your power, you're not in touch with yourself. You're trying by all means to be in a place where, because obviously it's triggering to find people who don't love you. It's painful even. So you find yourself in a place why they don't love you, especially if you have issues with being left out. Most of the time you find yourself being left out all the time around whatever people, even in relationship, whatever relationship that you're actually having. The reason why you get to be undermined by those people actually not for you. Most of the time, I used to laugh every time when people actually undermining me. And The reason why I laughed, it was because I just knew, like, when someone undermine you and you'd be like, I'm just gonna shock them, but not to the point that I'm doing like in an ego, like I'm trying to make them to notice. No, I was like the fact that I don't have to do so much. I don't have to. I just know that you are not for me. I just knew that I have that feeling that this person is actually not for me. You know, because the first thing that you saw me, you undermine me. And yes, I'm not gonna try to explain myself who I am. I'm just gonna let you be, and then it make me laugh. Like I just know I'm just gonna elevate so much to the point that I can't even recognize myself to compare to where I was. It's just another form of source telling you that you are about to go through some growth, a really growth that you actually needed. It's about telling you it's time. It's telling you most of the time it's your time, and it's giving you a lot of time to actually work on things that is actually best for you, because you have a lot of time. You don't have to put yourself in a situation that you not needed to be put on. So being undermined is one of the best and most things that we actually undermine. But being undermined, it's sad, especially if it's people that you want so badly to be in your life. But if it's people that you just met who just give you that kind of attitude, it's the best thing that will ever happen to you, because you got to know these people are not for you. That's the first thing that you should be grateful for. You don't have to put yourself in a situation that you need to push yourself. It's just another saying like, you're not for me. Whenever someone undermine you, you are not for me. So yes, sometimes we do need such people in our life, or not in our life at all. Sometimes you're gonna meet them, and that's a good thing, because we got to meet people who don't see, and it's gonna push you to a point where you just, you know, you get to elevate, you get to have upgrade. Because every time you let go of people who undermine you, because most of the time it's not because they undermine you because you are useless. No, not because you're worthless. No, they know who you are. They just know. It's just that you don't see yourself the way that they see you. And that's why you find yourself trying all hard to show up, because the more you try to prove yourself, just know you already lost yourself. You just already gave your power away. If someone just give you a word energy, that's why you need to dissociate with them, because you don't need to prove anything. The only person that you have to prove to is yourself, not even your parent, not even to anyone. We are not living a life for anyone. So being undermined, it's a redirection. It's another form of knowing that I'm being protected. You are being protected from the wrong people that are actually around you. You are being protected because your time is coming, and that your time is coming. There's people who end up undermining you. They are being exposed who they are to you. You get them treatment from God ancestors of the fact that you are my child. As you are my child, you get to be not to be around these people. This is not the people that I want you to be with. This is not your tribe. This is not your people. And that's why, being undermined by them, it made you sad. You don't want to be around people because they make you feel bad. The only time that you have to feel sad is with the right people, is because they are telling you the truth. Like, you can do better than that. Like, you are not, potential. You're not doing as much as you are. Like, people are being honest to you for your own development, because being criticized, there's a constructive there is a constructive criticism as well as destructive criticism. People who love you, they want you to be they just criticize you in order for you to evolve. It's a constructive criticism that they usually give. But if it has to be destructive, when I'm talking about this destructive, people who want to see you, who want to have a low self-esteem, those people are people you don't need in your life. Those people you don't need it, like you don't need them at all. So that's why you have to go through that. It's because you are undermined because of all the reasons that I actually mentioned. There actually are plenty. The thing is, people know who you are. There was a situation where this guy, like, I was like, wait, why he don't see me? I was like, why he don't see me? And when he started to get to know me, I was like, wow, you have a beautiful personality and blah blah blah. And then the next thing he was like, let's try to date. And I was like, okay. And we were still in trial. And then I was like, I wanted more. When I say more, I mean, like, I'm a very deep person. Like, I prefer deep connection. I prefer a lot of things that are actually deep. He was not ready for that. You know what he said? He didn't tell me why. One day he finally confessed, like, I told him that I don't think you are the guy that I actually want to be in a relationship with. And he was like, he got offended because, yeah, that can happen. But, after some time, he told me, like, the reason why he was like that. He said, you intimidate me. And I was like, okay, I get that a lot. But you've made me feel like when I'm with you, I have to be the emperor. I have to be the queen, the king that I am meant to be with. I have to step up, and I feel like you are moving fast, and I don't think I can be the kind of a person. You make me feel less of a man than anything. It's not because of anything. It's just that I don't think I'm ready to meet myself like that. I don't think I'm ready to go deep with myself. He was so comfortable dating people who actually um who only just feed on his ego, not on his soul. On, like, he was just a ego thing, superficial thing. He was not ready to do the inner work. He was just so honest. I even felt sorry for him because it's something that a lot of men experience. That's why you find a lot of men dating the same people, and it's not just only men, in women too. Like, not meeting yourself, you end up sabotaging the whole thing because he was not ready to do all that. So things like that. So what he did, he initially tried to undermine, but at the time I knew who I am. I knew what I wanted. So he was not what I wanted. So that's why I had to have that conversation with him. So to have him say something like that, it was one of the best things that I was like, oh wow, it's the first time I have someone who's being honest why he was a jerk. Beside that, we were in a trial and I was confronting him, like, about his behavior. Like, what? Like, I was confronting him about the behavior, it was giving me. So I was not comfortable with a superficial kind of thing. So, yeah. So being undermined is not bad as you all think. It's a good thing. It's just that you have to have a beautiful relationship with yourself in order to recognize that. So, thank you. Bye.